SMTN.
How's it going, everybody, and welcome to Shin Megami Tensei Network link 383. I am your host, not with the most today, because I came home and I immediately was told, man, you look terrible. Not in a physical attractive way, but just in that general, boy, you look tired way. So I'm your resident tired host, Spencer Presley, who will hopefully not sound too tired. Joining me, you might also sound tired. I don't know. I don't know. This might be you at full energy. This might be you at like 10% need coffee energy. But we're here with special guest Genki once again, joining me all the way 14 hours in the future. Genki, how are you doing today?
Oh, hi there, Spencer. Thanks for having me. I'm doing good. Um, yeah, just chilling and still recovering from TGS because like it was kind of intense, but yeah, feeling good.
See, because I'm so used to how you sound from the years of us like talking and stuff, that I was like thinking about it. I was like, I assume you're probably like this is just the normal monotone Genki sound, and I was like thinking about it. I'm like, what would like 10 out of 10 freaking out Final Fantasy Remake Part 3 Stellar Blade crossover gets announced? Like what does like the most animated version of you sound like? Like what does that have to do to come out? How much caffeine needs to go into your body before that's unlocked?
Oh, uh, yeah, I don't really drink coffee, so maybe just give me some like energy drinks and make sure it's not like too early in the morning, and then yeah, I'll be good.
Well, I appreciate you having the time to come chat with me and stuff. I get to live vicariously through you once again, and so do the listeners because of TGS last month. Which it's kind of funny because like part of me was like, man, I'm surprised you're still getting over TGS, but then at the same time, it's like, well, TGS I feel like has been getting later and later into September, and it really hasn't been like that long. Plus, you go all days for the press days and the public days, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I went all 4 days, and yeah, it was quite intense. Because like yeah, most people just go the business days because they're like sensible. But I just go all the days for some reason.
Genki, you're a man of the people. You don't want to just be there when the bigwigs are there. You want to see how everyone's reacting to all the booths. You don't want to just be there on the days where the lines are less egregious. You need to be there when it takes 3 hours to play Silent Hill F, even though the game's already been out for a week. That's the real time to be there.
Yeah, you have to get the real experience sandwiched in between hundreds or thousands of other Japanese fans.
I gotta say though, by the way, because I feel like I always try to bring it up. I was pulling up your YouTube video about TGS this year of like I always want to be like, hey, let everyone know because I feel like most people know you. I would say primarily through like Twitter and the stuff you post on there. But I'm like, man, your YouTube channel very slept on. Like we gotta always get like you do really good view wise, but I always feel like more people need to remember that Genki also does stuff on the YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, thanks for that. Oh, thanks for checking out that video. Yeah, I like to make YouTube videos. I would like to make more, but it's just it's the editing takes so long. So I've got like one editor to help me. Yeah, hopefully I can put out more videos. But yeah, I would like to focus on that more, because it's fun to make videos. I just don't like the editing part because it takes so long on YouTube, and I do like tours of different game events and video game stores in Japan. So if you have time, yeah, please check that out.
Yeah, because the last one you had done, I want to say it was no, because it was that new Sega store that they'd opened up a little bit before then. But yeah, I mean you're
Mm.
really lucky in terms of where you're at from, well, A, there's just been a lot of different stuff because yeah, I mean, I'm even looking at your other ones right now with like the Final Fantasy store as well as like the Death Stranding stuff and whatnot with it. But yeah, the TGS thing is extra tough, I feel like, for you because I assume, are you mostly going on all those days by yourself, or are you going with anyone else who could help you either like uh try and like do anything? Because like press appointments aren't like hard to get at TGS, but there's definitely a lot more opportunities. It's just harder to do by yourself.
Yeah, I usually go by myself. In terms of press appointments, I can get like appointments to like play the games. But I don't really get like appointments to like interview people or stuff like that. But yeah, it's still cool just to go and check out what's on the show floor and play all the games. So that's what I enjoy most. Yeah, and then all the other times I'm like filming stuff, like to make the videos, just filming the booths or the different displays or booth babes or whatever, just filming stuff and
I
taking pictures.
I've got about a million and one different TGS things we're going to talk about later, but I want to talk a little bit of some stuff we've been playing before we get into there. I did want to at least say, because I need this on the record as early as possible, I feel like if there was ever a sign that I need to force myself to finally just go to Japan and finally attend TGS, it has to be next year because the fact that they were, I feel like, because we talked about this even last year, if not 2 years ago, I feel like TGS has definitely been doing such a better job at not only kind of growing in terms of attendees, but also in terms of like big stuff being there. From publishers, developers, and etc. Like even just news straight up being there. Them finally going from 4 days to 5 days. I'm like, I gotta just do this. I gotta find like I feel like if every year I say to myself, oh, I should go next year, I should go, and I'm like, no, no, no. I really gotta just like commit into it for 2026. It's like it's not like Japan's gonna get any easier or harder to get to, and every time I like watch TGS stuff, I'm always just like, man, just kicking myself for being halfway across the world and not at TGS.
Oh yeah, it's a really good show to go to, and they're getting more and more like foreigner friendly in terms of like the way it's organized and like buying tickets and stuff. So yeah, I would definitely recommend if people can. It's a good show to go to. It's just like it's a lot of people. Just you have to warn people, it's going to be a lot of people. But hopefully, yeah, since they're making an extra day next year instead of 2 public days, it'll be 3 public days. So hopefully the crowds are more dispersed, so it's not as busy if it's like spread over 3 days. So yeah, I would definitely recommend going if you can. Yeah, next year seems like a good time to go, and the yen is still not doing well, so your money will go quite far in Japan. It's definitely a good. I recommend visiting Japan if you can.
So, before we fully dive into the TGS madness stories that is, you and I are both very guilty of having a big problem, and our problem is we like too many games. And I haven't been following what you've been playing too much, but Genki, what have you currently been playing? What has been stealing your time away when you're either not at work or posting stuff online?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, it's true. There's too many games at the moment. Yeah, recently I got like a bunch of games, and we're trying to play through them. So yeah, I got Ghost of Yotei, which is really good, and yeah, I really like the action and the combat in it, and this like the improvements on Ghost of Tsushima. So I've been playing that, and also got a code for Final Fantasy Tactics. So I've been enjoying that too. But I'm still at the beginning. Just played like a few hours. But yeah, I'm playing through those at the moment.
What are you playing Tactics on? Did you go Switch, PC, or PlayStation?
Oh, okay. I bought the physical Switch version. But I'm playing it on the PS5 at the moment. But yeah, I got the physical Switch version as well. Um, yeah, I think you can upgrade it for free to Switch 2. But yeah, right now with my Switch 2 at the moment, like I have a son and like he's playing it a lot, so it's hard to take it off him. So I usually play on the PS5 mainly these days.
Well, I was gonna say, for you, I'd be kind of curious with. So, I have not touched Final Fantasy Tactics just because, like you mentioned, there's too many games out. Like, I'm playing a whole bunch as well right now, and I'm like, I still haven't touched Yote, still haven't touched Tactics. But I was thinking about this recently because one of the big changes for the Evil East Chronicle is the addition of voice acting. So most of the stuff I've seen from it has been the English one. Have you messed around with any of the Japanese voices, or are you going with the English?
Oh, I went with the English voices this time. I've heard the Japanese voices are good as well. But I think they just put a lot more like emotion and stuff into English voices. So yeah, I'm really impressed. Like the voice acting is like super amazing in this game. So yeah, I think it's a big improvement in terms of like and because I'm British as well, so like hearing all these British accents, it's kind of nice in a way, and you can appreciate like the different accents and yeah, the quality of the voice acting is really, really good. So I think the Japanese one, because like they kind of speak in like an olden style, kind of like Shakespeare kind of ish language stuff, and I don't think you get that in Japanese so much. It doesn't really work, but for this one, like yeah, the voice acting is really good, and yeah, I really recommend it just for the voice acting.
Yeah, the localization team, especially for all of the Business Division 3 stuff, like ranging from Tactics to 14 and even like 16, always do such a good job. Voices in general, I kind of find myself, even though they're both like from Japanese companies, I find it always really funny of like, I look at when stuff like Final Fantasy 16 Tactics, or even something like Xenoblade Chronicles, that's the kind of thing that like I like how it has a more like Shakespearean aspect to the voice acting, or even if it's just like a British or different taste than just having a bunch of Americans voice in something helps it stand out a lot more. That I feel like when it comes to like those kind of settings, it really helps the experience versus like I look at the Yakuza series, and they've definitely gotten a lot better in some ways for the English voices. Like I think that definitely started when they started doing them again in 7 and 8. But there's this like this weird thing in my brain where I'm just like I've played these games in Japanese for so much and they take place in Japan. I think Silent Hill F will also be a weird one where it's like I like a lot of the English voice actors for Silent Hill F, but I'm like this game is so Japanese coded uh, I'll just want to check it out in Japanese. That's why, like, the funny thing is with
Hmm.
Ghost of Yote, I'm kind of curious about what I'd want to do there for it because initially Ghost of Tsushima, I did English because that's where the lip syncing matched up with, and I was like, okay, well, we'll just do this because it'll just look a little bit more clean. And they finally patched that in, but they have that already at launch for Yote, and I'm like, the problem with Yote and Tsushima is like both the English and Japanese is so good. It's not like there's a bad one. It really is just whatever one.
Yeah, that's true. Right now I'm playing it in English because the Erika she is like really good, and like she's the main character, so I kind of like um chose English for that. But yeah, both the Japanese and the English is really good in Ghost of Yote. So yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with either one. So yeah, that's really good, and it's kind of like a Western style like Japanese game, but it's like very accurate to Japan. So yeah, I think either one is good, works well.
I haven't really followed it too much because I feel like Ghost of Yote had a pretty good marketing push this year, but almost kind of similar to Death Stranding 2. I feel like Sony's been in this weird spot where they'll do quite a bit of marketing up until the game comes out, and then either and it's weird to really compare both because like with Death Stranding 2, you had a lot of people talking about the Switch and Summer Gamescom at the same time versus well not Summer Gamescom, Summer Games Fest And then now with Ghost of Tsushima is like sandwiched between like 15 big games like Battlefield, Silent Hill, Hades 2, new Pokemon, new Digimon, like all these big things taking eyeballs away. That I feel like there hasn't been like a ton of people really like pushing it from the marketing perspective. But like the game's been selling really well over here in the West. It's been doing really solid, at least in terms of like digital sales and stuff. It's always been in that like top three, and there's a decent amount of marketing and word of mouth from it from what I've seen online. For you, have you like, how would you sort of compare Yote versus Tsushima? Because Tsushima was that one where it was like the big thing was everyone was really surprised by how good it was, but especially compared considering it was coming from a foreign studio. I remember hearing from a lot of Japanese people being like, "Wow, I was surprised how good Tsushima is and like how accurate it is."
Yeah, I think yeah, I haven't seen much marketing for it in terms of like in public. But yeah, just like the first game, I think just this series has like really good word of mouth in Japan. So like there's a lot of people anticipating it. There was like this news report in Hokkaido where the game is set. Like they were like they did a news report of like people, lots of people, the locals anticipating the game, and like local businesses making merchandise for the game, and like the game was like selling well in the game stores in terms of like pre-orders, and like the locals are like hoping the game can bring like more tourism or like more business to the area around the Mount Yote. So in terms of that, there was like quite anticipated, but I didn't see any like big like billboards or some things like that around. But I think the word of mouth with the game uh, from the first one, from Tsushima, has been really good. So a lot of people have a lot of like PlayStation fans have been in this title, and that's why I think the launch sales were quite decent, especially for PS5 software sales. I think the launch was really good in Japan, despite there not being like this massive ad campaign, apart from like some social media posts and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it did really well in terms of that, and I think the word of mouth, yeah, so far has been good, and people are liking this game as well in terms of its accuracy, like Tsushima. So hopefully the word of mouth continues, and I think yeah, word of mouth is really important with this kind of games in Japan.
So I've got to ask because I've been extremely surprised to see how big of a start it had, especially kind of coming the day after Yote came out. Digimon Time Stranger, I got to ask, so like in the West by Bandai Namco standards, we've had some marketing for it, but nothing crazy. Like it probably got about as much advertising as that like Shadow Labyrinth game, or even like the like Pac-Man 2 remake. Like nothing crazy, but definitely not getting like a like right now the big push for Bandai Namco is Little Nightmares 3, understandably, but it seems like worldwide Digimon story has been selling way better. Had you noticed a lot of like marketing for that one? Because I was really surprised that on launch day, like they had to issue like an apology because they had already sold through all their physical copies, which I thought was wild.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, honestly, I haven't seen anything apart from when I went to TGS. Like that was the only time I saw like some kind of Digimon marketing. I've seen some things for like the new anime that's coming out. Some posters and stuff for that. But in terms of the game, I haven't seen anything personally that I can think of.
I've got to
Yeah, I
imagine the
think.
anime helps big time. I haven't watched the new one, Beat
Hmm.
Break, but I'm like, the new anime literally premiered the day Time Stranger came out. So like, I'm sure it was just
Oh,
like the marketing was probably
yeah.
like, well, if we just put all the money into the anime marketing, people will be like, oh, well, I want more
Uh-huh.
Digimon. They're all watching the first episode. What comes out the same day? Oh, a new game. Okay, let's buy that.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think that's probably what happened. And in terms of like I think they were like they didn't anticipate it being so popular because I think they just didn't have enough copies ready. That's why it sold out so fast. Because I saw the numbers, they weren't that big, but it seems to be sold out at most places. So I don't think they were anticipating getting as many sales as they did. So that's why like they were sold out everywhere.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I think understandably they weren't expecting it to be soft, but I don't think they were expecting it to be major, especially because in Japan there was only one physical SKU, where at least in the rest of the world it was on Xbox and PlayStation.
Mm.
It was very funny because it reminded me of one of our mutual friend Jody's many complaints. She would always love it when Bandai would do a very popular licensed RPG and then purposefully not put it on the Switch, and then be like, "Man,
Hmm.
imagine how good their sales are." Which is like
Yeah.
I think it's been really smart that Digimon didn't come out on Switch because of how close it was to ZA. Because like I'm sure everyone here is aware, like there's no reason Time Stranger couldn't be on Switch 2. Switch 1's kind of iffy, but there's not even a PS4 SKU, so it's not that surprising. But like I think the fact that you have all those people who are probably wanting a more traditional turn-based RPG and it comes out before Pokemon is that thing where it's like, yeah, even if you're a longtime Digimon fan or not, it is just kind of one of those things of there's a lot of games coming out right now, but we haven't really had a and I mean obviously comparing apples to oranges here, it's not as big or as hyped as something like an Expedition 33, but you think of all the RPGs that have come out between Expedition 33 and now, and it really feels like this is like the first one to finally hit big in terms of not only people really liking it, but it also selling really well.
Yeah, yeah, it's done really well, especially on Steam. I was surprised how well it was doing on Steam. So I think maybe lots of people just jumped on the Steam version, how if they couldn't get the PS5 or something in Japan.
Well, and what's been crazy is like if it was kind of one platform, I would get it, but it's even been hard to find physical copies here in the West. Like my physical copy, I haven't even gotten yet because it's been on back order for 3 weeks, and I've had it since
Oh
before the
wow.
game's been out. So like even copies over here have been really hard to come by on PlayStation or Xbox. But what's crazy is I've been looking at obviously you can't track the concurrence on consoles as well as Steam, but yeah, Steam having almost 75,000 plus on opening weekend is insane. Versus you look at the sales number for Xbox, it charted. It was in the top, I think at least top 50 on launch weekend, which considering how few games sell on Xbox in general is pretty good. But for PlayStation, even like today, it's been out. The game's been out for the calendar. I don't know why. I want to say it's been. No, yeah. So the game came out last week. No, it has been. It's been almost 2 weeks because it came out on the 3rd of October. So the game has been out for just shy over like 10 days now, and it's been in the top 10 bestsellers on the PlayStation Store, which is crazy because like you look at the like best selling and it's literally it goes Call of Duty, NBA, FIFA, Ghost of Yotei, and then Digimon, and it's like, it's like one of these things don't one of these things are not like the other.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, and like you said, like Jody was saying, like they didn't make a Switch version and should get angry. That's quite funny. But maybe that's Pokemon was why they not in a rush to make the Switch version. And yeah, maybe it'll come later, like a Switch 2 version as well.
Yeah, it's really weird. I just refreshed it now because I was kind of curious. So for North America, this is literally. Oh, I also forgot about Battlefield. Yeah, Battlefield's been insane. Like, did you see the metrics for Battlefield on Steam alone? It almost had a million. I think it was
Oh
a
really?
just. So yeah,
Damn.
on launch day, it was the peak concurrence was 748,000. It was literally almost to a
Oh
million.
wow, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. It's doing really well.
Which I mean, hey, EA definitely needed the after their last Battlefield completely did not do that well. I was kind of surprised because it was like it really felt like okay, there's a audience for Battlefield, but Battlefield has had like two misses in a row. And even though this one's been in development for a while, it was kind of interesting because they pulled so many teams and stuff for it. I think honestly, Battlefield's in a weird spot where I think they're lucky because they focused on what they needed to get right. And they also came out on a year where it feels like people are ready to poo poo Call of Duty, even though I'm sure Call of Duty will still sell way better than it.
Yeah, I think a lot of like hardcore gamers got getting sick of Call of Duty, but yeah, definitely Call of Duty still has that, casual mainstream appeal. Like it's hard to get rid of, especially in the States.
Yeah, so like for the top whatever this is right now, like literally number one is Battlefield 6, number two is NBA 2K, number three is Yote, number four is FIFA, number five is Madden, number six is Little Nightmares. I always forget how well Little Nightmares sells. Number seven is NASCAR. Number eight is Madden, and then literally sandwiched at number nine, right below GTA 5 and Minecraft, is Digimon. And I'm like, and
Oh, cool.
it's like for me as someone who's like been a fan of Digimon for so long, it's like it's wild to be like, what do you mean Digimon is selling like Madden numbers? Like obviously it's not going to sell as many as Madden, but like the fact that it's been almost 2 weeks and it's still up there that high is really really crazy. Because like I feel like you look at the recent success of not only Digimon but also what we had recently, Silent Hill F. It's been like, man, I can't think of the last time where like games coming out of Japan have just been hitting so well and doing so well, not only critically but financially around the world is very surprising.
Yeah, it's honestly good to see so many, yeah, like some more Japanese style games selling so well internationally. Yeah, I was really happy to see that, especially with a game like Digimon. I think all the fans came out for that one, so it was kind of good to see.
Because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Genki. I was ready for like Digimon to come out, and it was gonna be like me and like three dudes in the back. It was just gonna be like, all right, I know Digimon's popular, but like, will we show up? Will we be willing to spend the $70? Because like honestly, I don't think
Oh yeah.
it's too crazy to assume people might be like, I'm just gonna hold off. I'll wait till Pokemon comes out, or I'll wait till what other big game comes out later this year. Whereas like for me right now, like we're recording this the day before Pokemon is out, and I'm literally like, yeah, I mean, reviews are out for ZA. It looks really good. It's on the Switch too. Lord knows I need some new games to play on that thing. But I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm like 15 hours into Digimon and I have no interest in buying Pokemon. I'm interested in playing it, but it's that thing where it's like, well, I mean, I'd rather just buy it after I beat Digimon, and so like it's kind of wild for me to think that I'm like, yeah, I'll just wait and play Digimon instead.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So, would you say it's like one of the best Digimon games so far, or that
Oh
you've
my god.
played
Oh,
personally?
Genki. I mean, listen, as you're talking to someone who's probably played at least every Western released Digimon game, but like I've played a
Oh
lot of them.
really? Oh damn.
I need you to know
Okay.
this. The bar is really low. Like Digimon games are like the best
Okay.
we've had before, I would say Cyber Sleuth 1, the Vita game, was like, hey, these games are
Yes, I
really
like that one.
fun, but really tedious. Like the Digimon World games were never going to be mainstream, but those were like the best we ever had. Versus, ironically, with Media Visions, I think it's kind of ironic that it took for the third RPG from them to really hit big, because like you even look at something like Digimon Survive, which I loved the idea of Digimon Survive, but even though it sold pretty good, I think there's only so many copies you can sell of a visual novel. Even though it does have RPG elements to it, like Digimon Survive first and foremost is a long visual novel, which I think is just going to turn a lot of people off. But what was funny was I think I would say at the very least, Time Strangers is up there as one of the best Digimon games we've ever had. I haven't beaten it, but I mean, even still, I would still say it is up there in the top five of like best ones we've had in a very long time. But what's funny is I think like when you think about why is this hitting for everyone now and not just the weirdos like me, I think what's funny about it is you look at the last two Cyber Sleuth games and it's like, okay, the first one came out in 2015. It was a Vita exclusive. It sold really well in Japan, but by the time it came out in the West in 2016, it was just kind of like, okay, well, it's good, but it's clearly a Vita game that was primarily marketed in the West as a PS4 game, so it didn't really have a lot of eyeballs on it. And then the sequel came out 2 years later in 2018. It was better in just about every sort of way, still only on PS4 and Vita. And at that time, unfortunately, I think because it was only on those platforms, it was in a post Switch world where I don't know if you remember, but it was that thing where once the Switch was out, every game that wasn't on the Switch we were mad at. We were like, "What do you mean this isn't on the Switch? I want to play this on the Switch. Why is it not on the Switch?" So I
Oh
think
yeah, I
I
remember
think
that with Metroid.
I think that was in one of those tricky spots where people liked it but weren't seeking it out because there was just so much going on and it wasn't on as many platforms as it could possibly be. Whereas, ironically, this is still not out on Switch, but because it's out on everything else and it has like just about literally no RPG competition out there, it stood out a lot more. And what's funny is I say that it's not like it's had none. I'm actually shocked. It's sold better than that Trails first chapter remake. Whereas if you had asked me a month ago, I would have thought, oh, there's probably more people interested in that new Falcom remake, and that's had a lot of work into it. I mean, and it's a good game. It just didn't really sell all that well here in the West and had kind of softer sales in Japan, which was surprising because that was also on PlayStation, Switch, and Switch 2.
Oh yeah, I'm impressed with how well it's doing. So yeah, it's really good for Digimon fans. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to do so well, but yeah, the Digimon fans like really rose up. So it's good to see.
So one of the things I was going to ask you, I was curious since you've been playing Tactics, to go back to that a little bit really quick. Did you play original Tactics? I had forgotten if you had played the original or even the War of the Lion one back in the day.
Oh no, I haven't played the original one. Yeah, so it's my first time playing the tactics games. But yeah, I heard good things about it, but it's always hard to play in like because it's not on modern platforms. So yeah, this is my first time.
So then for someone who's got like 0% nostalgia glasses for this, I'd be curious about two things. Do you find it difficult? Because I've been curious about how some people have been finding the difficulty balance, as well as does it still feel like it's like got its hooks in you? Like, do you feel like it'll be something you stick with? Because it's not the longest game in the world, but do you think it'll at least keep your attention enough till you roll?
Oh yeah, definitely. I really like the kind of setting and the world that it's in, and yeah, the gameplay. It's a bit hard. Like yeah, some of them, but I'm a fan of like Fire Emblem and those kinds of strategy games. But it's a bit more tough than those. But yeah, I think I'm enjoying like the different systems it has, and I have to get my head around the jobs still. Getting used to like the different jobs there are, but yeah, it's so far it's a fun game, and I think yeah, I really want to finish it.
So I want to kind of slowly transition into TGS talk, but something that kind of is related to it that I haven't had a chance to talk with you too much. So let's see, we are 4 months into the Nintendo Switch for you, and I'd be kind of curious. So, like, I feel, especially if you just sort of go off of like the internet echo chamber, I think it is really easy for people to just think the Switch 2 like is boring or is just kind of whatever, whereas like I've been kind of surprised by, like, I have really enjoyed my time with the system since it has come out. I haven't been playing a ton of stuff on it, but when I do play it, I've been really happy with it, and I think honestly, especially now that we're getting into Pokemon, Metroid, and other games like next year with this fall, I've been genuinely pretty pleased with it, but was curious for you, like, where are you at with the Switch 2 right now? Has it been one of those things that you've been happy about getting? Like, does it take up too much of your time? Like, where are you kind of at right now, 4 months in?
Oh yeah, so yeah, so after 4 months, yeah, I really like the Switch too, especially like all the improvements it has over the original Switch. I think it's like nothing it doesn't feel like revolutionary because it's like more of the Switch but a lot better. But I do like that it feels much cleaner and faster, and like the improvements to like the graphics and like the frame rates you get in some games, it's like really impressive. So yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza was really fun. I really enjoyed that. Mario Kart World was a bit of a disappointment for me, but because it's like more of the same kind of stuff, and I was hoping for some like more like new stuff, like more open world exploration or something like that. The open world stuff was kind of disappointing, but it's still a fun game. And then yeah, after that. there haven't been that many like big games I played on it, but just going back and playing all your old games, it really improves them. Like Zelda, the new Zelda upgrade for Tears of the Kingdom, it just looks like a new game. Same with Pokemon as well. With Pokemon, I have Pokemon Violet, so that one looks a lot better. Like it just looks like a new game because it's running at like 60 frames now, and it looks really good in handheld. And in terms of like the portability and the games it's running, it's I think it's really impressive, especially if you look at things like Steam Deck because they're kind of big and chunky, but Switch 2 is kind of compact and thin, so I like the form factor as well. And yeah, now I'm playing like if you play your old games like Hyrule Warriors, I've been playing that a bit. Going back to that, the frame rate is much better. On the original Switch, it's so bad, the frame rate. And I've been playing that in co-op as well, with my son, so it's much better. In co-op on the Switch, it's terrible. It's like 10 frames a second or something. But it's much more improved on the Switch 2. So in terms of like playing your old Switch games, I think it's really good. And yeah, I'm hoping for more games that will take advantage of the system. So yeah, looking forward to Pokemon ZA as well.
So I definitely agree with you. I feel like we're super similar in terms of the backwards compatible has been more than enough right now to fill in those gaps between the big exclusives. And honestly, for me, I've just been genuinely happy. Like ever since I got it at launch, of I was so happy that I forget if I had told you, but I had this big, not deadline, but I had a big kind of rush to get the system day one because I had this big cross country flight I was going to be doing, and I was going to be away. And for once, thank fucking God, not the one driving the whole time, so I could actually like enjoy it on the plane. And it was one of those things where I feel like I really got to put it through its paces because I don't always get to do a lot of portable play, and it really kind of gave me that like kick in the gut that I hadn't had since the first Switch of just being like, yeah, it's a lot bigger, but like you said, you compare this thing. I mean, Steam Deck's one thing. Like, my God, you compare that to the Asus ROG, or even like the Lenovo ones. Like those portable PC handhelds are chunk. And it's like I like the
Yeah,
Switch form factor. I think that screen, even though it's not an OLED, is really nice. And it's just been one of those things that it's not only like it a made me not regret spending $450 on it, but then also ended up being one of those things of it's made me really excited to keep going back and picking up other games on Switch 1 that I hadn't touched yet because I know they're just going to play a whole heck of a lot better. Because, yeah, you mentioned Hyrule Warriors, and that was one of the ones I wanted to ask you about. Uh, it's so crazy to think like we'll be playing that in like less than a month. I mean, yeah, Pokemon Pokemon tomorrow is cool. Like I can hold off on Pokemon. I'm not gonna lie. Hyrule Warriors Age of Extinction, I legitimately, I'm like, there is a.
imprisonment. Yeah,
Oh no,
age
yes,
of
here,
imprisonment.
Age of Imprisonment. too many
Hmm.
subtitles, but yeah, with the
Too
new
many
one,
ages.
but like with the new one, man, I'm like, Koei Tecmo has been on such a roll recently, especially with the. I mean, Hyrule Warriors was already, in my opinion, the best Dynasty Warriors like game out there. So now this being a story expansion to Tears of the Kingdom, which I really loved. I'm like, yeah, I couldn't be more excited for it. But it's very funny of like Nintendo's been so all in on advertising Pokemon. I'm just kind of like, man, I'm kind of surprised they're having it come out so soon. But I'm sure they'll do like a demo, some form of marketing leading up to it, because like those games usually sell very well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was surprised like the previous one sold like 4 million, which is kind of crazy considering it's like a spin-off Muso Warriors game. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new one as well. And yeah, I did get to try it at TGS, so that's what kind of made me excited and go back and play the first one.
See, I thought you were gonna say it was surprising how well the first Age of Calamity sold because it ran so terribly. It's like think about how many think of how
Oh
well
yeah.
that game did, even though it ran like absolute trash. And I'm like, look, guys, we have one that runs good now. It's like we should get at least twice as many copies sold now.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, this one, the new one runs a lot better. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see the sales because it's like limited. Like there's not as many Switch 2s around as there were Switch ones, but hopefully the sales are good.
Well, you know what's going to help, especially after this week? Not only is Pokemon coming out helpful, there's a thing that I've noticed very few people have talked about that's also coming out this week: the new Switch 2 bundle,
Hmm.
which I think will sell a lot more
Oh,
units
okay,
because
yeah.
now, on top of having a Mario Kart bundle, the new Pokemon bundle, I think will get a lot more systems because now people are going to be like, oh, I should get the Switch 2 because there's a new
Sure.
Pokemon bundled with it. Because, like, I can't think of the last time there's been a Pokemon bundle that actually included the game. Like you look at all those special editions they did on 3DS and Switch and they never had the game in it versus now this one is like, "All right, it's our big holiday game. Everyone wants Pokemon. There you go." And now hopefully, I'm assuming Nintendo is planning on that new rush of people with the holidays buying the new Switch 2 bundle will then lead into them hopefully buying Hyrule Warriors, and then fingers crossed people remember Metroid Prime 4 in December.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, yeah. I think especially in Japan, that bundle will do really well. 'Cause yeah, Japan's Pokemon crazy. But yeah, yeah, I didn't realize it was the first time they have the game actually in the bundle. Because yeah, I remember the Switch Lite didn't have the game, and also the Scarlet and Violet special Switch OLED also didn't come with the game. But yeah, it's good they have this bundle. I think it will do really well, especially in Japan. Yeah, I think it's probably sold out everywhere in Japan.
I mean, not that this should be any news with everybody, but especially with all the news recently of price increases and especially all the still funky, weird stuff going on, at least for the West, for price wise, I'm pretty confident unless anything crazy happens. Like, I bet you once the holiday rush dies down, Nintendo's going to announce a price increase on the Switch too. I think they have a lot of systems already in for the year, and they don't want to raise the price to sully the hype or make people not want to buy the system. But I think once the holiday rush slows down, especially if tariffs still say the same percentage they're at right now for them, I mean, if they're already willing to raise the Switch 1 $50, I doubt they're going to be scared of raising the Switch 2.
Oh yeah, I'm worried about that. I hope they don't raise the price, but yeah, maybe because of the whole tariff situation, it might happen. But I hope they don't do that.
I mean, hey, at least you still have your thankfully way cheaper Switch 2 that just happens to be region locked. Well, by the way, I was gonna ask, has has stock been getting replenished regularly at all, or like how impossible is it to try and order a Switch 2 from the Nintendo website, the region free one for you in Japan?
Oh yeah. Oh, the region. Oh, oh, in Japan, even the standard one is like super hard to get. So if like for normal people, even like you can't walk into a shop and buy a Switch 2 at the moment, like just the Japanese one. So yeah, the in terms of the region free one, that one's like impossible to get. You have to just win the lottery. You have to just hope and pray. And even like the entry requirements to enter the lottery have gotten stricter. So it's still like almost impossible. I still want it, but it's like I think I'll probably have to wait until next year to even be able to enter the lottery for it because yeah, they've just made the requirements a lot stricter. So yeah, it's almost impossible to find the region free one at the moment. And even just the normal one, like yeah, as I said, you can't walk into the shop and buy it. It's sold out everywhere. So I think the demand is still high in Japan, and they haven't quite met that demand yet.
I uh I'm just imagining there was that picture Sakurai posted recently of him with a bunch of other video game directors. And I'm just imagining what does it take for you to get a region free Switch 2 in Japan? I'm like, you need to be like one of these dudes. If you're not Masahiro Sakurai, you're not getting it.
Yeah, you have to be one of those guys at the special table. Say Sakurai table to be able to get. Yeah, he's got the connection. But yeah, for normal people, just have to enter lottery, then hope and pray you can pick one up.
Yeah, I'll be really curious to see how stock allocatments really go. They seem like they really pushed sending systems to the West, because right now it's actually been the opposite for us. Obviously, it's still definitely more expensive for us to buy it versus you guys over there, but stock has been really plentiful, even pre-holiday, which has been interesting. So I'll be curious to kind of see how long that stays the case and what for. Because it's not like no one's buying them. Like it's still charting every single month in Japan as well as in America. So it's still doing really well. Ironically, it's doing way better than PS4 and Xbox. Unsurprisingly with Xbox, but like it's pretty much the only thing really right now selling hardware wise. Everyone else is obviously not in any huge rush to buy $500 worth of tech.
Yeah, I think the industry is relying on Switch 2 for like growth and stuff because the other consoles are past their peak and are in decline just because of how old they are.
So Genki, I want to going back to Hyrule Warriors in that demo at TGS. I want to move us into some TGS questions I have for you. Number one, because I saw that demo for Age of Empires. Was that the shortest demo you played at TGS? Because when I saw footage of it, I was like, A, this looks really cool. B, I was like, this might have been the shortest demo I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think they were quite stingy with the demo time because I think the demo was like 10 minutes maybe.
It was, yeah,
Yeah, like
literally 10
usually.
minutes.
Yeah, and then I think there was like a timer in the top corner or something. Oh, I don't remember, but yeah, it was a really short demo. Most demos at TGS were like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes sometimes. There was like even one that was like an hour. But yeah, that one was like one of the on the shorter sides of things, just 10 minutes. So, yeah, I was kind of like disappointed that like it ended so fast. I just got to like this boss battle and then it just ended. But but it was fun though.
I am very curious because we've at least seen that the game runs pretty well. The only other thing that I'm like, I can't wait to see is also the only spot that might be worrying. So for me, I'm going to play that split screen pretty much primarily, if not the entirety of that game. So I'll be very curious to see how that holds up in split screen, not only on like docked, but also, but like I feel like especially with it being on new hardware as an exclusive, I'm pretty confident in Omega Force, but that is like kind of the one factor just because like that engine, especially with how crazy all the Tears of the Kingdom mechanics are going to be in it. Like I can only imagine. Like I'm sure it will not be a locked 60, but I'm betting it will be way better than what we got when we were playing Age of Calamity.
Yeah, from what I played, it seemed to be like quite good. I wasn't sure if it was locked or anything, but it did run very smoothly and it did look like 60 frames per second. So yeah, I was really impressed how like it's just like when you play the previous one, Age of Calamity, it's just like kind of blurry and you can see like the anti-aliasing. This new one just looks a lot cleaner. It just looks very crisp and clear, and there's a lot more going on. Like the effects are crazy, and the new specials look really good, and there's a lot going like loads of characters on screen, and it just looks very clear, and it just looks like a bigger improvement on the first game.
I was going to ask you actually, did you notice there was kind of a funny thing? I mean, A, number one of the biggest surprises about TGS this year for me was that Age of Imprisonment was there because Nintendo was not there. So what was funny was Koei Tecmo, and I'd be so curious to see how that worked out that way. Koei Tecmo was showing off Age of Imprisonment, but they weren't able to do any like media appointments for it. It was like we brought a public demo that Nintendo already had made because Nintendo had a demo made for PAX and a couple of Western events this fall. So I was kind of curious about how that worked because what was funny was like at the Koei booth, I'm trying to think even really what else would have been there because they I don't think they had Fatal Frame playable, was it?
Oh, at TGS?
Yeah, because I was
Oh,
like,
no, they had Neo 3 and Ninja Gaiden
oh,
4.
yes, that was it. Because I was like, I knew they had other stuff. Yeah, because the Neo was probably their biggest booth that was there at TGS, wasn't it?
Yeah, that and Hyrule Warriors were the biggest ones.
Because what was funny was I was talking to a friend who was at the Koei Tecmo booth, and he was like asked by one of their press people. They were like, "Hey, do you want to interview some of the Omega Force team members?" And they were like, "Oh, sure." And they were like, "Okay, but you can't ask any questions about Hyrule Warriors. You can only ask Dynasty Warriors questions." And it was good. But what was extra funny was like they were talking about it, and it was like they had just announced that remake of Dynasty Warriors 3 or Dynasty Warriors 2 in Japan, and it was like, well, we've announced it, we've shown it off, but it's not playable, and we can't talk about that, and we can't talk about Hyrule Warriors. It was like they just brought the producer and director there, and it was like, but you can't talk about anything we're working on.
Oh, that sucks. That's funny. Yeah,
Uh,
but in terms of Koei Tecmo and Nintendo, yeah, I think in Japan at least, Koei Tecmo are the publishers. I know in America, Nintendo are the publishers of Hyrule Warriors. But when I was there, I did actually bump into the Zelda director, Fujibayashi, the Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild director. So like I spotted him there. Um, and yeah, he was actually like checking out people playing the game. He was just standing there in the corner, just watching people. I don't think that many people recognized him. I just walked past him. I was like, wait a minute, I really know this guy. And then, yeah, yeah. So he was there. So I think like Nintendo are quite focused on this game. So I think it's like a major game for them, in terms of like having a director of Zelda there, the TGS show floor. Um, but it wasn't a public thing because I think he was just there in secret because they didn't like take any pictures or anything like that or post anything. But yeah, and this game also being canon does indicate like it's important towards Nintendo and Zelda. So that's probably why they won't let like these Koei Tecmo developers just talk so freely about it. And they're a bit more like they want to control the message or the marketing for the game, Nintendo themselves. So yeah, that was kind of interesting to see him there.
yeah, I forgot you posted a picture of Fujibayashi because it is interesting. He's been a big name Zelda director for many, many years now, with not only Tears but also Breath of the Wild and other work he's done. But it's kind of funny because I feel like in around, I don't know, it might just be from the West, but I feel like for the most part, when people think of the Zelda guy at Nintendo, I think most people still just think of Aonuma.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a very Japanese thing. Like the producer is in like the PR role, so they're like the public facing face of the game. But in reality, in terms of the day-to-day nitty-gritty, making big decisions, that's usually the director, the game director. The producer's role is more like, PR, budgeting, like getting new staff, like recruitment and that kind of stuff. And they are like the public face. But in terms of like the game design, like those kind of day-to-day on the ground development decisions, that's like the director. And they're usually like not put out in front of people. So that's why, like, yeah, like the main person behind the new Zelda games in terms of like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is actually Fuji Bayashi-san. But he doesn't get the spotlight because that's the way Japanese kind of systems work. Like the producer is the front-facing person on these projects. So um, yeah, I think yeah he should get credit as well. I mean, Aonuma-san. But yeah, I think more credit should go to the actual director as well in terms of Fujibayashi-san. But he's like more put in the side. Maybe they just don't want to put him in the spotlight and make him have more like pressure or something. But I think that's just a Japanese system. The same thing happened with like Final Fantasy 16. You got like the producer, which is Yoshi P or Naoki Yoshida, and then you have the director, which is Takai-san. So yeah, they're not put at like so much at the forefront of the game, even though they're like probably one of the most important people on the projects. But I think that's just a Japanese system. Usually the producer is the front-facing person, and the director is more on the side. But maybe in the West, they put the game director at the front. So it's kind of a different system towards the West. But it's
Yeah,
interesting.
it is interesting because yeah, it is swapped because I've almost had to explain it to people. Like I feel like producers obviously have a very important role no matter where, but in the West, like there aren't. many big game producers that people think of in their traditional sense, at least in a positive public sensing light. Like a good example is when I got like one of my cards I had when Weiss Schwartz did the Persona 3 Reload set last year. Like the top card to get signed, ironically, and I forget where the prices landed at for the English one, but in the Japanese market, the more sought after signed card. So like if anyone doesn't know, like Weiss Schwartz, they have these like gold SP foil signature cards, and what's funny is like there were cards literally signed by Soejima, like the artist who like did the drawings. Like his signature wasn't as valuable as Wada, and because Wada-san is the main series producer of all things Persona at P Studio, which is really funny because like in my head you would think like, oh well, the artist you would probably want them to sign it versus no, I need the director. The director's signature is more important. No, sorry, not the director, the producer. We need Wada the producer's signature instead.
Oh yeah, that's crazy to me. Yeah, I'm a Soji. I actually got to meet Sojima-san over TGS like a couple of times, so that was really cool. Because I really love his art. His art's just like crazy, amazing, good. I think he's probably one of the best artists at the moment, still working, I would say, like character designers. But yeah, I was lucky to get to meet because I actually got to go to the Sega party this year. That was like the literally the night before Tokyo Game Show, and also there was like a Japan Game Awards. He was there, and like Metaphor won the Game of the Year for Japan from the Japanese Game Awards Association, or whatever. But yeah, Metaphor was like crowned the Game of the Year for Japan, so that was good. So he was on stage there, so I got to see him there as well. And yeah, I told him, I just said congratulations for winning. But he's a really nice guy. And oh, he recently did a talk as well that got to attend. He was like with the Fire Emblem artist Kozaki Yusuke. Um, so yeah, he was also talking about like how he draws stuff there. So yeah, I really respect Soejima-san. Yeah, he's a really amazing artist, and he's a cool guy, nice guy too. So yeah, but yeah, I think he is like much more important, I think, than maybe. But oh, that's just to me. I think his signature would be more valuable to me.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It'd be like imagine like you have a chance to get something signed by a Final Fantasy member at Square Enix, and it's like you get instead of Nomura, you get like the president of Square. It's like I mean, I appreciate you paying everybody, but could we get Nomura? Is that
Yeah, that'd be
possible? Can I
crazy.
swap with somebody instead?
Yeah, no way. Yeah, Nomura would be the guy to get. Oh yeah, or Soejima would
Nomura,
be
and
the
by
guy
the
to
way,
get.
Nomura doesn't sign a lot of stuff. Like I have a friend who has a
Oh
couple of things signed, like because he does public appearances, but he almost never does like fan signings or anything. Like he doesn't really do a lot of
yeah,
stuff out and about, which is
yeah.
kind of funny.
Nomura's not really a public kind of guy. He's not like a yeah. He doesn't really enjoy like public events or doing like front-facing things. That's why he's always like the voice, the mysterious voice from the heavens or whatever in the live streams. He doesn't really like being in public facing things. So, and there's not many pictures of him, you'll notice, out there these days. So he doesn't really like to be in the public face. But yeah, so I imagine he doesn't really like doing like fan signings or like fan meet and greets and stuff like that. So that's why you probably not so many. It's quite rare to find signatures from him.
Well, what's funny about Nomura is he mostly gets put on press junkets, not for Square Enix stuff, but by Disney. So almost all of his public photos, you'll notice, come from when he did press junkets for like Kingdom Hearts. Like that was really the last
Mm.
big time he did stuff. It was like, and it felt kind of back to back because if you remember, Kingdom Hearts came out like 1 year before Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Part One was really the more hands-on project for Nomura versus like everyone else on the team. So like that's why you didn't see Nomura really for Rebirth, and you probably won't see him again until like they do the next announcement stream for Part Three. But like I bet like once Kingdom Hearts 4 is like fully revealed again with it, I bet Disney's gonna start yanking him out of his cave. Be like, come on, come on, Nomura, you got to start showing off this game again.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, Disney will probably make him come out again. You probably have to as part of like the contract agreement or
Well,
something.
because like Disney is really big into having faces with IP, and it's like whether I mean, and Nomura has such a special relationship with Kingdom Hearts, I don't think he minds it, but like there's really and again there are so many people especially like the directors and the other people who work at Square Enix for it, but it's like Nomura, I would almost argue, I don't know how you would feel about this, I would say like I think a lot of people still think Final Fantasy when they think Nomura. For me though, Nomura has always been tied with Kingdom Hearts because like Final Fantasy's been around and had so many directors and producers and even artists, whereas like from the first game all the way to now, like he's never left the series. He's always worked on every.
Oh yeah, that's true. So yeah, he's been there. He's like the original creator, so that makes sense. He's been there since day one. So yeah, that makes
But going back a little bit with the TGS stuff, I was going to ask, what was the overall interest level that you noticed when you were at the Sega booth for Persona? Because that was sort of one of those funny things of I kept noticing either demos that were already available to the public or games that were already out still being shown at TGS and having lines I kept thinking was so funny. So it was like that demo they had there, it was a little bit different than the one that's available on the eShop, but like still if you wanted to play more of Persona 3 early on the Switch 2, you could just download this free demo. Did you feel like Persona still had a lot of like hype and attention at the booth, or was it mostly just people wanting to check out Yakuza and Sonic?
Oh, okay. In terms of Persona, there was just like a small area for Persona 3. They had like the model and there was like some promotional model at the front. And they had like a small table of Switch 2 set up, but they were all docked on the TV, so you couldn't play it in handheld mode. And yeah, there was quite a big line, maybe like people waiting up to like 50 minutes to play. It was probably because there weren't that many demo units. There was like 6 or 8 different units. It was just one round table with like 6 or 8 stations around it, and you could play there. And yeah, I think most of the Sega booth was dedicated to like Sonic Racing and the new Yakuza game. So yeah, it was just like in the corner for the Persona stuff this year. But they were like handing out like these Persona bags and these other merch. Like if you play the demo, you also get like this Persona art cards and like a Persona 3 ruler. Yeah, which I also got to pick up. Yeah, so it wasn't like the biggest presence in terms of Persona because it's like an older game. But yeah, there were still a few Persona fans there.
Well, Genki, I apologize already in advance if I made you wait 50 minutes to send me a ruler, but I greatly appreciate it.
Oh no, it's alright. Oh no, for I have a press pass for those days. So like, if you go to like the press table, you can get in a shorter line. Yeah, like a more like an express line.
We had
That
we only
wasn't
had
that
we only
bad.
we only had you waiting 45 minutes instead. It was had you played the demo yet, or did you have any
No.
thoughts on it? Because I I I think in terms of a port, I think it's totally fine. The problem with the
Mm,
Switch 2 port, for me at least, is when you've seen it running even
mm.
in like a smooth 1080p, it is kind of a bummer where it's just jaggy enough where it's like, ooh, like they clearly got it to run, but not enough where like you're not going to show this off to someone. It's not like it's no Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah, yeah, I could notice like the jagged edges on the character models and the environments. Like there's a lot of anti-aliasing that you can notice. That's Yeah, that was very noticeable, and especially on like playing on the TV, it's kind of blown up and in your face. I was wondering, like maybe in portable mode, it wouldn't look as bad.
No, it still looks bad.
Um, oh,
Unfortunately,
okay.
I played it first in portable, and so I had the opposite. So I played it in portable, and I was like, "Ooh, yeah, this is really jaggy." Then I played it on the TV, and I was like, "It still looks jaggy."
Yeah, yeah. You can really notice, especially when if you see like the gameplay of like the PS5 version, the 1080p version, or like six, is that running at 60 frames? Probably.
No, it's
Yeah,
30
those.
30 locked on docked and portable. There's no That's the weirdest thing too, because the other like
Mhm.
versions on there, like there's no graphics modes or anything, which is really weird because
Oh, okay.
they've done that before on past games, but they just made it 1080p 30 FPS on everything.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you can really notice like it's not like hasn't got like the smooth frame rate like fast 60 frame rate is yeah, you can notice it's like 30 frames and it looks kind of jaggy. But I guess you can play it on the Switch too now, which is good. But in terms of like the performance, it doesn't seem like they've done too much in terms of work on like the performance.
Do you? Because I'd be kind of curious for. I'm not sure how much you've been following like Switch sales because I've been very surprised about a couple of different things of like what's really been selling in Japan on the Switch 2 versus like other systems. I've been really kind of surprised with how strong first party stuff is doing over there. Like even by Nintendo standards, like I'm still shocked like how many copies like Mario and Donkey Kong are selling over there, but it really feels like no third party game has just kept any momentum. Like I don't know if that's a game key card thing, but like have you been noticing that at all on your end?
Yeah, I think I can notice like the third party games aren't selling as well in Japan. Maybe because they're like old so far. They're mainly like older games that are already out on other platforms. Um, and they're not like exclusive to Switch. But like yeah, as you said, like the Nintendo first party games have been selling really well in Japan. Mostly like I mean Mario Kart and Donkey Kong have been selling really well. But yeah, in terms of third-party games, I haven't been following it that much, but it doesn't seem like they've been selling that well. Especially like, yeah, I think maybe Game Key Card is one aspect. People aren't so as vocal as in the West about it, because you know, in the West, like everyone's screaming about Game Key Cards and like posting
We
under
love to
the
complain in the
announce.
West. I'm sure you've
Yeah,
never noticed that.
yeah. Yeah, so that's not happening in Japan, but you do feel like there's people don't really like the GameCube cards, judging by the sales, because they haven't been selling that well. So yeah, I think that is a aspect because Japan's very big fan of physical media. So maybe the game key cards or codes in the boxes aren't as popular. So yeah, I think that is also affecting the sales in Japan.
So we were mentioning about some of the port quality and stuff with it. You got a chance to play remake. I wanted to say rebirth, but I wasn't there yet. What was the setup at the Square booth like? Because I was surprised they were not only showing remake on Switch 2, but they were also showing it on like Xbox and had a couple other different booth setups for it.
Oh yeah, so at the back of the Square Enix booth at TGS, there was different demo stations you could get in line for. That included like the new Adventures of Elliot game, and they had Tactics there as well, and Dragon Quest was the other one, as well as Final Fantasy VII Remake. And for this one, they actually had it on the Switch 2, as well as they had it on the new Xbox. No wait, ROG Ally or Xbox Ally.
Oh, so
Or
is it the
yeah,
new one that comes out this week?
yes, that one.
Okay, yeah.
So
So
they had it on that as
because
well.
they hate that name, it is not the ROG Ally because the ROG Ally is a different thing. It's not the
Yeah.
ROG Ally. It's the Xbox ROG Ally X.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, Xbox Rogue Ally. So they had it on the Xbox Rogue Ally X there, as well as on the Switch 2. So I think there was like maybe five stations of them each, and it's kind of random which one you get. So like they just let you in, and then like you go to the demo stations, And then I guess if you go and run towards the one you want, you can get the one you want, but otherwise, like you can't really choose. So when I got in, I just ran over to the Switch 2 one because I wanted to try it on Switch 2, obviously, just to see how it runs on the Switch because it was there on the Switch for so you could play it on the Switch there. So I wanted to see how it ran on the Switch 2. I guess on the Xbox it kind of runs kind of similar to like Steam Deck, I would imagine. Um, but and there's I guess you can already play it on like those portable devices. But yeah, on the Switch 2 it's not really available at the moment. So I got to try out there, and yeah, I was actually really surprised how well it runs. And you could tell like they put a lot of work into this port, and it runs really well. And it felt just like playing on like PS4 to me. So yeah, I was really impressed how smooth it was. Like graphics look great, and it just yeah, it just feels like Final Fantasy VII remake on just portable now. So yeah, I was like it ran perfectly. Yeah, it felt it was like smooth 30 frames per second, and like the lighting and graphics look great. Yeah, I guess like with the hair, you can notice a bit. It's a bit like less, not as high as resolution as like the PlayStation version, but overall, it just like felt really great in handheld.
Honestly, the positive word of mouth from the remake demo on Switch 2, it's to the point now where I'm like, and the way that Square's been talking about it as well, because I think it really shows that they did this internally, like they didn't ship it off to like a port house or anything. Like I think it really shows that that is being created by that internal team. Even the Xbox port isn't being farmed out. Like I think it's been really impressive watching it to the point where I I think they still have time because it doesn't come out till early next year. I think if they put that on the eShop as like a demo, I think that would really help in terms of getting more people to get their hands on it because like I felt like the two biggest positive third-party stuff I heard about the Switch 2 at TGS easily was everyone couldn't shut up about Final Fantasy and Resident Evil 9. Like those were the two big ones that everyone was like, I can't believe how good these.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can tell they put a lot of work into these ports because they run so nicely on the Switch 2. And you can tell like they've been doing work like especially customized for that system and just to make it look so nice. Like you compare that to the Persona 3 port, it's like night and day. Like how well they like run compared to their like current gen like console versions. It's very different. So you can tell like they've actually put a lot of time and effort into these Switch 2 ports. Yeah, so that like it just looks really nice on the Switch 2, and it just yeah plays like just as it played. I felt like just at home, like because I played Remake a lot, PS4, PS5, and like yeah, it just plays. It looks the same and plays the same as the console versions. Maybe like the frame rate's not as good as the PS5 version, but in terms of like the PS4 version, it just is like identical and it just feels the same and natural. And yeah, I did get to play Resident Evil Requiem as well, and yeah, I was really amazed as well how well it plays on Switch too as well. Like, because I played the PS5 version just before, like right before, then I went back to play the Switch 2 version, and I was really surprised how like it's almost uh, like the same atmosphere. You get the same atmosphere and like the same like horror and spookiness just from the Switch 2 version. So I was really impressed how it plays on there as well.
Now, I mean, I don't know how much this stood out to you, but I think the craziest thing about Requiem on Switch 2 isn't that it runs. I think obviously with it being the same RE engine, and them already saying they're doing 7 and I'm sure we're going to see 2 remake after the fact. I think I was more shocked when I saw a video of it running that it was 60. And now, obviously, it's not like the RE7 and 8 and the 9 very much are like a lot slower and have a lot less going on. Like you're not playing as Leon doing backflips and exploding barrels, so I think that probably helps it a lot too. But it is just really funny of like, yeah, outside of like it being a visual downgrade a little bit, I think there are people out there who see something like that, very similar, like when Cyberpunk had its Switch 2 port, and just being like, just I kept hearing like people just being like, wow, like it's crazy how smooth and well optimized it felt for it being new hardware and 4 months before the game's even out yet, which seems even crazier.
Yeah, I was also shocked how well it ran. I couldn't tell if it was like 60 or like trying to hit 60, but it was really smooth and yeah, apart from like again with the hair, because Ari tech. They have this new tech for the hair, but I don't think they put that in the Switch 2 version. So the hair just looks very different from the console version. But otherwise, like everything else looks kind of identical to the console version, which I was really surprised by. Like especially like the sense of atmosphere and the lighting is look really good on the Switch 2. So I was surprised how well it ran, and yeah, the performance was really good. So yeah, and it still felt really scary on the Switch too. That game is like super scary. Like yeah, it's not for like the faint-hearted kind of people. Like if you
I
don't like horror games.
I will be very curious how they end up releasing that in Japan because I was talking to a friend of mine about Silent Hill, and I didn't even realize this. Did you notice there's no censored version of Silent Hill for Silent Hill F?
Oh yeah, I heard that as well, which is quite surprising considering like Japan's usually really strict with like horror or like gore stuff.
Yeah, like when I think of like the censored, like my most go-to games I think of for the censored stuff, especially for horror, it was like the censored RE7 and RE8 because like those have a lot of dismemberment and like beheadings like very much in the games. Like they had to really heavily censor those two games to the point where I'll be kind of curious by the time 9 comes out because F has done well sales wise and doesn't seem like it's been too affected by only being a rated Z version. Because the big thing with the Z rated games over there, and correct me if I'm wrong with them, is they're more limited or they can't really be advertised in stores when they're Z. Like you can still sell Z rated games, they just can't like advertise them on like public store or like displays as easily, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think the advertising is more limited, and they also have to be in their own section. Like there's like the Z-rated section, so you can't really put them with all the other games, like the non-Z-rated games. They have to go into like the Z-rated section, so they're put in on the side as well. So yeah, I guess that does affect the visibility of the games. Yeah, but that's true.
I will be really curious to see because I think Capcom has a pretty quiet. I don't even know if they have any stuff coming out this year for Switch 2 for the rest of the year, but I know with like Monster Hunter Stories 3, Resident Evil, and a bunch of other stuff next year, I'll be really curious to see if they can either get the like game keycard thing sorted out because I feel like with the work they're really putting into it for RE9, I feel like so many I could see people wanting to pick that up on Switch 2 because like right now, yeah, I'm trying to think about it. Like the Switch 2, like that's one of those things like there's really nothing out there for it. Like even the new Fatal Frame, I don't even think we have a date for Fatal Frame 2 remake. Like we know it's coming on Switch 2, but there's no real survival horror game like even close to it. So I think even coming out pretty soon, like I'll be really curious to see because like I'm sure RE9 will do well and sell really really great, but I think so many of us were surprised that it was launching on Switch 2 and with all the positive word of mouth like it would be really nice and I'd be really curious to see a world where like I could very easily see even if it was a game key card like the Switch 2 being the second or third best selling SKU for that game just because it's on new hardware.
Yeah, I would agree. I think yeah, if it was on like full game on card, I think that would help with the sales a lot. Just like the Cyberpunk sold really well, just and the big reason was like it was a good port and they put it on the game key card as well, so it got a lot of physical sales. So I think that would happen as well if they did do that. But yeah, with a lot of these third parties, they've been kind of hesitant to do that because it does affect their profit margins, making a game key card instead of putting the full game on the card. So, but I hope they do, Capcom do that. But have they done it so far? I don't think they have got any full games on cartridge yet from Capcom.
Capcom I think
Same with
only
Square
has
Enix.
one Switch 2 game out already and it's only a download code over here. Although actually
Oh, okay.
I think it was a key card for you guys that Path of the Goddess game was a launch game. I think you guys got that as a key.
Oh yeah, Kunitsukami, that one
Yes.
maybe. Yeah,
Which, by the way,
yeah.
that ran really well on Switch. So the unfortunate thing was it came out at launch and like no no one was like, you know what I really want to play on my new $500 Nintendo system, Kinitsukami.
Oh yeah, that's a shame. But yeah,
Um,
yeah. But
I will
I hope they do put it on game card.
I will say, I want to ask you because I know we already know it is going to be a game card, but I am curious for it. I'm a little surprised how much I want to buy Final Fantasy VII on Switch 2. Even though I don't need to, I have a perfectly fine PS4 and PS5 copy. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of almost want it because of how much I really like the box art. I think the box art looks really nice.
Oh yeah, yeah. The box, yeah, they've made this new box art and it looks really cool. Yeah, I really like the box art as well. I want a poster if they can make a poster of it. I'll happily buy one. It's really cool with
What do you
like
think of the pre-order bonus, by the way? This has to be one of the weirdest pre-order bonuses I've
mm,
ever seen for a game.
yeah, yeah. I've never seen that as well, really, because it's not like a store limited pre-order bonus. It's like everywhere gets this pre-order. But I'm not a Magic guy, so yeah, I'll take it. But I was like, doesn't really affect me so much. Um, but yeah, the digital pre-order bonus is good. But I've already got because with the digital one you get a copy of the OG Final Fantasy 7 for free. That's a cool pre-order bonus. And then with the physical one you get a pack of Magic cards, like Final Fantasy Magic cards.
Which
Yeah, I think it's a cool add-on.
how I don't know how much you follow like TCG stuff over there, but for us in the West, when that Final Fantasy Magic set came out, like Magic the Gathering is very popular in the West, but like literally that set was popular in a way that I hadn't seen Magic the Gathering be in probably like maybe 10 plus years. It was insane. Like the amount of people I know who picked it up just because it was Final Fantasy and like how nice all the art is. And I mean, listen, I'm not a Magic the Gathering guy myself, but like I was so tempted just to get some of the cards because they looked that nice. So like it was one of those things where like you could not find those cards to save your life over that like I'm not surprised that's a pre-order bonus here in the West. I'm more surprised that's for everywhere. Like even you guys, like even the Japanese ones will come with the pack of cards. So I was like curious, like did you notice like was there a lot of hype in Japan for the Final Fantasy set?
Yeah, I think they did sell out as well. But probably like the stock wasn't as was more limited compared to the West. But I think they did really well, just because it's Final Fantasy, and then like yeah, in the Final Fantasy fan base you have a lot of collectors. So they did those Magic cards did sell really well in Japan, even though they were like quite expensive as well. Yeah, you did get a lot of people buying the cards in Japan as well, even though like Magic the Gathering is kind of a newer thing here and it is getting more popular these days. So it is growing a lot in Japan, even though it's not as popular as it is in the US. But yeah, I think that Final Fantasy set did help it get a bit more popular as well. So I think the popularity is growing in Japan.
Every day, Genki, I'm so happy that I'm fine just playing One Piece and Digimon card games. I look at how crazy Magic is, and
Oh yeah,
I
the
look at how
prices are
crazy
crazy.
Pokemon is, especially in the West. Like I know Pokemon's been getting really bad, especially in Japan, just because of how bad it's been in the West. Like all the Westerners are just trying to buy up all the product in Japan, but it's really so funny. Like I had to explain once to like my wife, I was like, how much do you think a pack of Japan, like MSRP? And she was like, I don't know, $7, $9. Like I was like, no, like they're like even like with inflation, like I think like they're like what 200 yen for a pack of cards.
Yeah, around 300 yen, I think, for
And
a booster pack.
when I see stores over here, it's so funny. Like in the West, like Pokemon's TCG has gotten like so big that people just go, oh well, English cards are sold out, so we'll sell Japanese cards instead, but we'll sell them at English prices. It just always makes me laugh because I'm just like, if you don't know the difference, it's just you're literally getting half of the amount of cards and just getting twice or four times as robbed.
Oh no. Yeah. There's a big problem in Japan with like resellers and Pokemon cards. Like it's crazy.
Oh my god, you remember the McDonald's meal?
Oh my God, yeah,
Dude,
that was like apocalypse,
did you
levels.
know they were gonna do a One Piece McDonald's meal?
Oh yeah, they had to cancel it
They
because it was.
they literally, I'm like, and the worst part is I'm like sitting here and I'm just being like, I mean, listen, I lived in America. I probably had a very small chance of getting the
Mhm,
cards anyway. Like they'll probably just include them as promos, but I just thought it was so funny. I was like, I
mhm.
was so excited that they were finally doing something that wasn't Pokemon cards at McDonald's in Japan. And then the one set I wanted, nope, canceled. Thanks everybody.
Oh yeah, thanks to this, there's resellers, Pokemon resellers. Yeah, they were just like buying all the Happy Meals and just throwing them out on the streets and just taking the cards. It was getting to ridiculous levels and it was causing like mass congestion, like traffic jams, people like driving to get to the drive-throughs, and yeah, it was just causing mass chaos. So they had to stop it.
See, Genki, that's the difference between your country and my country. When McDonald's in America does a Pokemon promo, we'll buy all the Happy Meals, but we'll be damned. We'll be damned if that food goes to waste. We'll be eating all 19 Happy Meal. You will not see photos of people in the West having full containers of food. Be like, no, no, no. These fries are not going to waste. I'm eating every single one of these.
All the fries, all the chicken nuggets, all the
So,
McNuggets. I'm gonna eat them.
I know we gotta start wrapping up. I wanna try and do a speed round so I can shut up and you can give some highlights. What were either some games you played or stuff you saw that either really stood out to you TGS wise, or things you thought might not have been getting enough love and attention online?
Oh, okay. In terms of the things that really stood out, I think one of the biggest games was that Ananta game, which is like the new Chinese open
I
world
dude, I'm
action
sorry to
game
interrupt. I
that
could
copies
not
every
I
game.
could not believe that was playable. When they showed that trailer, that was one thing, and then when I was like, "Oh no, it's on the show floor. It's playable. You can play it." I was like, "No way." I was more surprised about that. The fact that it was playable was the craziest thing.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't expect it to be there either. But then I just heard loads of people like buzz around the show floor, like people talking about the game, saying, "Oh, did you play this game? It was crazy." Like, yeah, lots of people saying how crazy it was, and around the booth, it was just like really packed because they were giving out these like free like keychains, and they had like these massive backpacks that like took up people's whole entire back. It's like really oversized backpacks that were giving out for free. Like if you like post something on social media, they'll give you one. So that like the whole show floor was full of people walking around with these massive like bright green backpacks from the Ananta game. And yeah, there was also like a massive queue to play the game. Like if you didn't get there early, you couldn't play the game. So I had to like rush over there like first thing in the morning on one of the days just to try to play it. But yeah, but it was really crazy and like it just copies like Spider-Man, Uncharted, GTA. It copies so many games, but it actually plays really well. And I don't know how it's supposed to be free to play, but I don't know how that. Apparently they're just selling like the cosmetic items, like costumes. But yeah, it's crazy. It's just like anime mixed with GTA, Spider-Man. Like it just rips off Spider-Man so badly. Like the swinging mechanic is exactly the same as Spider-Man. Like you're swinging around the city. It kind of looks like Shibuya mixed with like Tokyo mixed with New York, like the open world area. And like it just copies so many mechanics. Even like you can greet people in the street just like Spider-Man, and like the animations are like just exactly the same. It just rips off so many different games. But like you can drive all these weird trucks, and there's all these like explosions and anime scenarios and crazy set pieces. So it's like a really crazy game. So I think that one will do really well. It's probably going to be like the next big like Genshin type of game, just because of how crazy it is and how many games it rips off. How many popular like games it rips off. So I think that one will be like the next big hit coming out of China. Um, but yeah, I was also surprised to see that on the show floor, and I think yeah that game will do really well when it comes out. I think it's supposed to come out next year, and in the demo they had like this place where you could do like the action set piece, and then they also had like a separate part of the demo where you could do like the open world exploration, and that's where you can like do Spider-Man swinging or like GTA driving around the town. Yeah, so that game's like super crazy game. And yeah, apart from that, on the show floor, yeah, they had all like the big Japanese publishers, Sega, Square Enix, Bandai Namco, with the Digimon, had like this massive Digimon area with uh, like different displays and photo spots. And yeah, there was a whole indie area as well, but it was kind of like in a separate hall. But there was tons of indie games there. And yeah, I played one called Lost Helden, which is like a French style JRPG, and it has like turn-based combat as well as action combat, and it's got both. So they called it like turn-based action combat. So you could do both at the same time, which is you can like choose which one to do as part of the game's controls. And the art style is kind of like arcane, like kind of anime painted style. That was a really cool game I got to check out, called Lost Helden. That's also coming out next year, hopefully. And then apart from that, probably one of the best games I played there was Pragmata. That was really cool. Like the you could do like the open world exploration where you go around with the robot on your back and you do these puzzles while shooting at the same time. So like you just aim at the enemy and then they have a barrier and then with the girl you have to hack and then using like the face buttons on like PlayStation controllers like triangle, X, circle, square, you have to do this like kind of snake-like mini game to unlock their defense, their barrier, and then you could shoot them and it does more damage. So that was a really cool mechanic. And then like you explore the space station, you're like on the moon in the space station, and you can like you have to the open world exploration is like unlocking different puzzles. So you have to unlock these doors. You have to go to find these little switches to unlock the door, and you do these little hacking mini games. So it's like hacking mini games plus like your classic, Resident Evil style shooting, and that's a really good combination in like the space setting. So that was a really really fun game to play as well. So I was really impressed by Pragmata. So yeah, Capcom have some really good games coming up in terms of like Onimusha, that was there, Pragmata, and Resident Evil Requiem. So I really felt like Capcom was on fire at the moment, and they had like the biggest booth at the Tokyo Game Show. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, there's just lots of games that were cool, and yeah, it was a fun experience at Tokyo Game Show. I know like Gamescom, they had the same games there, and at some other shows. So in terms of announcements, there wasn't that much stuff at Tokyo Game Show, but they did have all like the latest games that they were showing, and probably like the most exclusive one was that Ananta game, which wasn't at any other game show until now, I don't think, playable. So yeah, that was probably like one of the biggest games of the show, I would say. Yeah, but yeah, it's a good show altogether. And yeah, I recommend, yeah, if you can go next year, yeah, that would be cool because hopefully they'll have like the new next year. Maybe they'll have Final Fantasy. Maybe they'll have some Kingdom Hearts or something from Square Enix. I'm not sure in terms of Atlas what they have coming up
Oh man,
afterwards. So,
next year's a lock. It's the
oh,
30th
they
anniversary
got
of Persona.
Persona.
It's the
Oh,
30th
okay. So
anniversary. I'm expecting next year. I better see literally Sojima and Nomura
yeah.
shackled to their booths, forced to interact with people next year at TGS.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure about Nomura. He'll be in like in the back somewhere. But maybe you could spot him on the show floor. Yeah, he should be if he's got like two games there. But yeah, if they have the Persona Revival game, right? Is that the one?
Well, they have that, but
Persona
I'm
4.
like, I gotta imagine there's something else that gets announced.
Um,
You don't have a
yeah, they should.
you don't have a 30th anniversary year and are like, well, we're only gonna put one game out.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, usually at the Sega booth, the biggest thing they have is they always have an inflatable Sonic something. So in past years it was Sonic, and then they had a big Shadow, and this year they had all these Minecraft Sonic carts, like a big inflatable thing. So hopefully next year they'll have like a massive like Persona inflatable, giant inflatable thing
Yeah, just
on the
get
show floor. That'd be cool.
just a building size Jack Frost. Just have like a
Yeah.
horrendously large Jack Frost figure.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be cool for the 30th anniversary. But yeah, you should go next year then if it's like the 30th anniversary for Persona. then
We
that'd
gotta
be
get
cool.
we gotta get the business cards ready though. That's the one thing everyone warns me about with TGS every year is
Oh
you
yeah.
need to
Oh my gosh, I run out of business
bring
cards
all
so
the business
quickly.
cards.
All the business cards you can, and business card holders. That's like a yeah, because every booth you go to, you have to hand out business cards. When you meet people in the industry, you have to exchange business cards. Yeah. So tip for exchanging business cards, if you can, use two hands. Make sure the business card is facing the person so they can read it. So yeah, so those are my tips for giving out business cards. But yeah, make sure to bring loads of business cards if you're planning to go to Japan and meeting uh, people in the industry.
I'm just saying
I
you
ran
bet
out of business cards
you
so
better
fast.
you better have given Fujibayashi a Genki business card. I better make sure that happened.
Uh, and I didn't get to do that. Yeah, I think he was busy, so I didn't want to take up too much of his time. I just he was just like oh I was like, can I take a picture? And it's like, oh, okay. He was like, okay, hurry up. I don't think I'm allowed to do it, but hurry up to do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, no,
So he was
that's
like
when you
kind
gotta
of
bust it out, Genki. You gotta be like, don't you know who I am? Don't you know the things I've spoiled on Twitter for people? I'm very infamous online.
yeah. Yeah, sorry. Sorry if I spoiled anything for you, but hey, let me
No,
know what it was.
thankfully, well, I think really what it was Team Asobi. After you spoiled all the last Astrobot reveals, they just went, okay, we won't put any more out now. Genki just spoils them all, so that's why there's been no more DLC for Astrobot.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hopefully they'll have some more DLC for the October or something,
Oh,
like
I
for
mean,
Halloween or
I gotta
something.
imagine there's like one more, but I mean, the last one was so massive. That's like the funny thing. I haven't even played those last
Hmm.
levels because they were putting out so many back to back that I was like, oh, I'll just probably wait. But I need to get back to Astrobot. Astrobot is like, even if it's just to like do the new bots and stuff, is like, it's such a fun pick up, play, get some trophies, listen to the music, and like, it's very weirdly relaxing, even though it can be stressful.
Oh yeah, but yeah, yeah. I hope they do more stuff for it, even though there've been quite a lot already. Yeah, hopefully you can get to it later. But yeah, for TGS, yeah, I recommend you can come. You should come and yeah, let me know if you need any tips or something, how to apply and stuff. Can hook you up with that. And yeah, it's a fun time. And but yeah, it's very tiring. And like the halls are really big, and you're always walking around. So like my legs were like falling off by the end of the 4 days because it's a lot of walking around. Yeah,
So,
but it's
so
fun. It's
we've
fun.
got two questions then before you escape. So, number one, what was the best booth at the show for you? Like, what booth were you like? Doesn't matter about the game, just presentation alone. Do you think was like that's the coolest booth?
Oh, okay, coolest booth. I would have to say maybe I think Sega's probably always the one of the coolest ones because they go all out and they have like a stage show as well. During the day, they have different performances from different games. So like they had like the Lin, the Persona 5 singer. She was on stage singing the Persona songs, and they had the Sonic DJ mix, which I attended, like a little rave with all the Sonic music, and like the Sonic mascots came out on stage as well, like Shadow, also Mega Man and Pac-Man, the mascots, like these guys dressed up as these characters came out on stage, and they were like rocking out. So I'd probably say the Sega stage was the most impressive. Other stages they don't really do so much in terms of like different like statues and stuff like that. Although, like at the Square Enix booth this year, there was like a big giant chocobo you could ride, and the lines were like 1 hour for
Oh
that,
yeah,
just to
because
ride the chocobo.
it was the big fat chocobo, right?
Yeah, yeah, a big fat chocobo with like a saddle on top of him, so people could climb on top and take a picture. And yeah, the lines for that were like 1 hour long, which is crazy. It's not even a game or anything. It's just to take a photo. So that was also impressive. So yeah, I think those were like the most impressive booths that I saw.
And then the final question, what was your first meal after TGS? So when it was all said and done, your feet are literally barking at you. You're like, "Oh my God, what's the first meal you ate as soon as TGS was finally done?"
Oh, finally done. So yeah, when it was all over, I ran over and got some pasta. Like, I just got some like some Japanese. It has like eggplant and bacon and tomato sauce pasta. Yeah, and that was like near the station. So, but there was quite a line for it because it was like after TGS is finished. So there was like I had to wait in line for like half an hour just to get food.
See,
So yeah,
I love
that's
that
not
though. It's
nice.
like you would think all the people and all the foreigners, especially in town for TGS and in the press and media, it's like, all right, let's go for the least Japanese meal possible. Let's go for Italian pasta.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I went with. But yeah, during the TGS days, there's like a cafe inside the hall, and there's actually one right at the end where nobody goes, so it's not so crowded. And there's like a little cafeteria area where you can get food. So I recommend there if you're there. Otherwise, they have like these food halls outside, and yeah, this year the food halls took over where the cosplayers usually were, so I couldn't find any cosplayers. I didn't know where they put all the cosplayers. They put them somewhere else, and I couldn't find them, so I was sad about that. But they had like these stands with like fried chicken and yakisoba, like fried noodles and stuff like that.
Awesome. Well, Genki, I appreciate you making me jealous once again about all the fun you got to have with your Italian pasta that also for some reason had eggplant in it. I'll pretend that wasn't in there. But thank you for chatting with me. Where do you want people to find you? Where can we make you more infamous? We need to make you more popular, more infamous. We need more people to be like, "Dang, what's up with Genki Gamer? What's going on?"
Oh, okay, thanks. Well, you can find me mainly on post on Twitter at Genki underscore JPN, and also have a YouTube channel you can check out, and that's at Genki Gamer. So yeah, if you find me on Twitter, YouTube, also Bluesky at Genki Gamer JP. Yeah, so that's the places you can find me.
And yes, one of the things I was going to ask you, because we were pimping the YouTube channel of yours earlier, do you have an idea what or where your video might be next? Anything, either pop-up shops or fun things in the
Next.
mind?
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, I have a few videos in the works at the moment. One is I went to Bit Summit earlier this year, so I have like a tour of that.
Oh, that's
Bit
another
Summit
one I
is
really want to
Japan's
go to.
largest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one to go to. It's really good if you want to like. It's a more like in-person personal event. It's like a good chance to talk to face to face with developers. Usually at TGS you don't really get to talk to the developers. You just get to play the games. But at Bit Summit, you get loads of indie games, and the developers are like right there next to the games. That's a good event to go to. And I also have some videos on Metal Gear Solid Delta, like pop-up shop, and Death Stranding 2 pop-up shop. So those are the next videos coming soon.
I'm expecting a full book report from your Steelbook novelization for Death Stranding next time I talk to you. Gonna need that whole book to be
Oh,
read.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm getting the Death Stranding 2 one as well. It's coming like next
Oh
month, I
yeah,
think.
yeah. It's that's almost out. God, I still I'm so behind. I'm so behind on the books. I don't even have the first Steelbook. That Steelbook looks so cool. Even though I know without a doubt I will just be owning it to have on my shelf and definitely probably won't be reading it anytime soon.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just bought it for the art for the steelbook.
Also, want to give a quick shout out to everyone who supports us over on patreon.com/SMTN. If you enjoy the show and want to help chuck a buck our way, get the show early, enter into giveaways, or have me say your name at the end of every episode, we've got a dollar and up tier as well as a $5 and up executive producer tier. So I first and foremost want to thank everyone who supports this show on patreon.com at any level, but for our $5 and up executive producers, they get a extra special shout out. So thank you very much once again to Aaron McNamara, Twist, John Massey, Jesus Coon, Crazy Sloth, Michael Wilson, Budweiser Tall Cans, Carlos Hernandez, Cross Renren, Winnie, Jagingus, Gorosero, Solaire, Stephen Yip, and Patrick Dessart. Thank you all very much. Well, Genki, and everyone listening, thank you so much for being a part of this episode. We'll be back next week, uh, not talking about Italian pastas in Japan, maybe talking about games that end in the word mon. Only time will tell. But until then, Thank you so much for listening. Thank you again, Genki, for talking to me, and I will talk to you guys later. Goodbye.
Bye.